What gives real power? How to control people? If you want to know what can give you a real power over the people, first you need to find out how people really works and how to use this knowledge. From the beginning of each life, people are desire-driven and act emotional. Even unformed brain of new little baby has a simple physiological desires, which is the air, heat, food, and heartbeat of his mother, which is a synonym of safety. If all of these matters are fulfilled, child is not hungry, not sleepy, and its diaper is clean, it starts demanding the fun, which is the synonym of self-development, the higher level of need. Any lack of this need or an opposite situation like a cold or pain causes that baby is crying and express its dissatisfaction. Basic natural instinct of each baby is to survive, which could be achieved only by fulfilling the needs and avoid dangers. Very important thing is to remember that those needs has a hierarchy, a priorities that have to be achieved. Maslow perfectly names those levels of needs and categorizes them. However, today we are going to find out if there is a general need of the humankind, and also the essence of living, the true reason why we exist. The most general need, which is also the general purpose, is only one, and this is the survive. And it is true from the first seconds of human life, even in a prenatal state. Of course, this basic need become more complex during the life, and sometimes it could be difficult to reveal it in human actions. But I assure you, the human needs can be always reduced to this basic one, and I will show you some examples to prove it to you. Let's get back to the newborn child. The detailed list of desires of such newborn is quite simple and easy to fulfill. If child starts speaking, it is also starts to think in a more abstract way and learn the cause and chain effects. At the beginning those chains are simple, and child can learn, for example, that if it won't eat, the solution is to start crying and protective parents will do the work. At this early age, children are similar to other species like animals because of the lack in experience and social coexistence. If childs get more experience, it start to using more complex logical structures. Not only if I cry I get what I want, but the child also discovered the quasi-implications like sentence A. If I paint the wall, the mommy will be angry. Sentence B. If I smile, mommy will also smile. So I will paint the wall in saloon and smile when she comes. That causes that she will be just okay. The experience of life learn us many personal and social techniques that we humans use, like abstract and analytic thinking, which allows us to solve problems in mind and predicts results of those actions based on the earlier experience. Learning, which gives us as an opportunity to use someone else's knowledge and research for results that could be used by our own. Persisting thoughts and knowledge by writing and reading later, which give us an ability to learn and use experience and knowledge of our predecessors. Influence to other by verbal and non-verbal actions. Use tricks and lies. Those techniques are the domain of humankind. Animals works in a simpler way. In general, they use instincts. However, all those very sophisticated actions has only at one true reason, the basic need, survive. It may be shocking to you because now you may be thinking about many of your personal activities that are not connected with survive. If you have such concern, please give me a comment and I will prepare a special video for you with an explanation. If you look closer at the survive as the main reason and the need of existence, you may find out that survive has two top levels. First is the personal survive, which means don't let yourself killed or try live as long as possible. And the second is the species survive, which means reproduce and adapt to the environment by self-development and compete with other species. It is difficult to decide which level are more important because we know the cases that parent gives his life to save the children. From the other side, the opposite cases also occurs. We are all competitive on the personal, society and species level, but the reason why we do this is to solve who is better adapted and should have survived, so the competition is nothing more than a tool to solve the problem. Who is better adapted and who should live longer, reproduce, have access to resources like food, land, etc. Each human on each level in hierarchy, no matter if you are thinking about king, craftsman or slave, always compete with each others because he wants to survive. So it is basically the one side of the problem, the most basic need of humankind. The next question is, what gives a power over the people? And the answer is also very simple. You can have power over the other human only if you have something that he really wants. I give you some examples. The gangster with a gun pointed to your head has a great power over you because your basic need is to survive. In such situation, you give him everything, money, car, or do anything other because you want to save yourself. The same situation is when someone is threatening your children or other people that you take care of. And just think about the kidnapping from ransom. You may be also thinking about the exceptions from this rule, and you are right. There are people that are not afraid to die, for example, by religious or any other ideological reason. And the man with gun will have no power, no control over them. Just think about the members of terrorist groups like suicide bombers or members of the sects. They are in so great influence of the leaders or guru that they could die for a cause. But there is a catch in it. They believe that their death is a gateway to paradise or something like this. In general, they believe that this is a way to survive and live forever. Just think about it. Do you know any example of people that want to die for a cause and he is not an afterlife believer? I know only one such case, and this is a suicide driven by a mental disorder, like depression. But such cases are also possible to explain, and I prepare a separate video because it is really complex problem. Okay, so what about the species survive? Great example is a soldier that fights and dies for his country, and he is not under any ideological influence. In general, those who sacrifice their lives are thinking about their wives, their children that they are protecting. So this is nothing more than a survive on a species level. Also, a mother that gives a life for his children is an example of survive in a species level. So, it is being a gangster a way to have a power over other people? No way. Note that if you are under the direct threat, like gun pointed to you, you will do anything. But as soon as the threat disappears, for example, police shot the gangster or arrest him, you are no longer under the influence of him. You don't need to run with the gun over the city. The NLP can be successfully used to create such a temporary need in someone else. For example, a seller in a shop can use it to convince you to buy a thing, and he tells you that this is absolutely necessary. And I assure you, in your life you are experiencing dozens of such situations every day. I will explain some examples in future videos, however today I would like to continue the thread in general way. So, it is possible to achieve the permanent influence, to have a permanent power over the people? Yes, as I said before, you can have a power over someone else only if you have something that he wants. So if you want to have a permanent power, you need to find out the thing that other people want all the time. There are such things, and I will give you some examples. First, being the one in hierarchy. If you convince people that having a new car, phone, watch, or any other wealth allows you to move up in the society hierarchy, you win. Raging global consumption is nothing more than a great tool to control people. You need to work overtime because new car is absolutely necessary for you. The second, expanding lifetime. If you are selling drugs, herbs, have a cure to little diseases, or discover a new great health treatment, you will win again. People will do anything and give a lot of money to saving their lives. It is obvious. The third, the eternal life. This is the last one and the most powerful. Because if you convince people that you have a solution how to get to the eternal life, you definitely win. The sect leader can convince people to do anything, and note that any popular religion is nothing more than great, popular and well-organized sect with a reward for obedience. So for the conclusion, first, you can have control over people only if you have something that they want. So the first thing you need to find out is what they want in this particular time. Second, remember that all those needs could be reduced to the basic one, to survive, in personal or species level. The best result is when you have a permanent solution to a permanent need. So this is the guarantee of long-term success. Third, if you cannot provide a solution to a need because someone else don't have a need at this particular time, you need to create such one. Because the best marketers do not provide solution to needs, they create needs and then provide solutions. Thanks for your attention, and I encourage you to discuss over this video.